Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is a post from a channel named The New Travel. And this is a message to Americans. It's titled A Message to My American Viewers. So with that being said, we're smoking all my dragons, divine, righteous, almighty, greats, overachieving, never slacking. We are flying back over to Canada, and we're going to hear this message because America is storming around and flying around like a dragon right now, breathing that fire. Um, and they come in the form of tariffs. So, with that being said, original link in the description if I didn't say that already. And let's get to it. Here we go.
This is an uncomfortable video to make, but we are living through uncomfortable times. I don't have a script here. I don't have any notes. I'm just talking as I would to a friend. Canada and America, we have been friends for most of our history. And if you don't know, I'm a Canadian. So for anyone who's new to this channel, I'm Dan. I've lived in a few different cities in Canada. I also travel a lot. I've been to a lot of different countries, and I've been to the United States many times. I've crossed the Canadian-US border by car, by bus, by plane. You're not all bad people. You're not all happy about what's happening in your country. And I just took a trip to America, actually. I was just traveling in California for a couple weeks. I had some Canadians who are upset at me for even traveling to the United States right now because many Canadians are doing a very strict boycott of anything American. No American trips, no American products. No, everyone's checking where things are made when you're at the grocery store. Is this apple American? Okay, put it back. But we've been brought together by what is seen as an existential threat to our country existing, and that's America. And the thing is, it's hard to know.
America, from an American man. It's crazy that we how we being viewed is the bullies right now, and it sucks.
Know with Donald Trump when he's joking and when he's not, because he'll say these things that are obvious lies. Like when he was talking about the immigrants from Haiti he said they were eating cats and dogs. They're eating cats and dogs. And then the news stations go there and they talk to people in that town. They're like, no one's eating cats and dogs. There was no one's eating cats and dogs. But that story will just be like a headline blasted across the whole nation. And then some people find out the truth that it was all made up. But some people presumably just believe that. And that just enters their consciousness. Now, that's how propaganda works. You now believe something that's factually untrue. With Canada, the initial lie was all these drugs are pouring across Canadian border, and it's unsafe, and Canada, you got to fix your border. That was the lie. The reason it's a lie is that well under 1% of the total amount of fentanyl entering the United States was coming from Canada. The lie is planted. Canadian border, people start thinking, what is going on up in Canada? Well, I see a lot of fentanyl in my city. Like, let's say you live in Kentucky or something. Well, I do see a lot of fentanyl. Where is it coming from? Trump says it's coming from Canada. And the Canadians say, actually, that's a lie. Like, we have the stats to prove it. Everything's cool. But then Trump says, doesn't matter. Tariffs on all Canadian goods. Let's decimate the Canadian economy. Let's harm all those average working Canadians and Americans, by the way. It goes both ways. All these average people who are working in companies that need American or Canadian parts, or serving American and Canadian customers, like all the inter-country trade, which helps growth on both sides, is just getting harmed needlessly. And as much as a lot of Canadians are doing the boycott of the U.S., and the patriot inside of me supports it. It's a good thing. People are acting with their money. It's smart. But also, let's not avoid the elephant in the room. In Canada, we are 1/10 the size of the United States. We're not. We can't win this trade war. There's a metaphor I was thinking about. It's like you have an older brother and a younger brother. Canada's the younger brother. We've always been close. We've always been like family. And then the older brother starts talking trash, saying, "Oh, you gotta like clean your room, like all these problems, all the toys."
I ain't gonna lie. I respect that he just said that. Like, we can't win this trade war, because to me, it reminds me of like that smaller person fighting, win, lose, or draw, and not backing down. And I respect that. I do. I do. I really respect that.
Toys from your room are ending up in my room. Get your toys out of here. And then the younger brother thinks, well, my toys aren't actually in your room. That happened one time, but like there's no toy crisis. So the younger brother just thinks it's kind of a joke. And then the bigger brother comes and punches the younger brother in the face, like out of nowhere. And then the younger brother's like, what the hell was that? And now, like, you're scared, you're disappointed.
Listen, I'm not crying, yeah. When you get out the shower and it just be that just extra sweaty, or not sweaty, but I don't know, just be weird. But I'm not crying.
You're kind of angry, but you can't fight back because it's not an even fight here. It's the world's biggest military, right? And so there's just a feeling of like the trust has been broken. And whatever kind of like friendly bickering we had before, those days are over. Now it's a new reality. We were betrayed. As for the 51st state conversation, there's different opinions on whether Trump is very serious about this or not. I think he is. I'll just say it. I'm not afraid to say it. I think Trump does want Canada to be the 51st state, and given the chance, he will take Canada.
I believe that, because I believe Trump wants to go down in history forever and ever as someone who's made changes that were never done before. And, it seems like it's all about legacy and power. And I feel like when he does say things like, they're, just crazy things that'll make the headlines, you got to realize this is somebody who also worked in WWE, literally. So he knows how certain things about the human psyche, especially about his supporters, his diehard supporters. It's very similar to the psyche of people who are big into like WWE, and he knows how to keep that, that energy, like how to be that perfect person, image for them to always kind of just feel fulfilled by what they say, and people fall in love with it, and he's learned to perfect that. But overall, I do believe it is about legacy and power.
That's not something I would have said a few months ago. It's kind of scary that I'm even saying that out loud when you think about it, but like I said at the beginning, we are in uncomfortable times, and the only thing really stopping Trump from taking Canada, from taking Greenland, from taking Panama, from taking whatever else he wants is the American institutions, which are quickly collapsing. Every day they're slashing budgets. Anyone in the FBI or the CIA who's like not a Trump loyalist is just getting fired and replaced by like a bunch of like weak yes men and yes women who just like literally, it's pathetic. Like they're all just kissing Trump's shoes. It's like it's so cowardly. It's just so cowardly. The scary thing is when you look at how Russia and Ukraine has gone down for years before 2022, when Russia like fully brought troops into Ukraine and tried to liberate the Ukrainians, right? Just the tension was building, and there was all this political talk about, oh, there's like far right people in Ukraine, and they want to be Russian anyway. We're going to free the poor Ukrainians. And then the Russian troops went in, and suddenly we're met by this wide scale resistance, and realized, oh, well, why are they fighting back? I thought we were liberating the Ukrainians. You could imagine Trump using a similar path if it actually reached that level in Canada, where he would tell Americans, Canada is this failed communist state. They can't secure their borders. All the drugs are coming through Canada. We're going to bring American troops into Canada to free the Canadians and to stabilize the border.
This is what happens to your body when you eat oats.
Oatmeal is healthy, right?
It's like See, now that's catching my attention. Did he just say there's nothing good in oats? I eat oats. I have to go back to that after this video.
And Canadians would say, hey, we're free. We don't actually want that or need that. And the border's fine. And the American media, which is much larger and has all the big news stations, would keep telling Americans to support their cause and to be patriots and to free those poor Canadians who are going to be our 51st state. And then I truly believe a lot of Americans would just go along with it. Some of them, the hardcore Trump is right about everything, fully believe it. And then the silent majority would think, well, that's kind of weird, but whatever. Like, I got other problems. Look at the price of eggs.
I ain't even gonna lie, he right. That's usually how it is. You know, it is, to be honest. That, I mean, okay, so this video dropped about 2 weeks ago. We've already had some serious protests within that time, so that I think does show too. Once again, like I always say, expect the unexpected. It might not go how people may think.
I'm working 2 jobs just to pay for my apartment. I don't have time to worry about the Canadians. And suddenly, after a while, you just feel like it's hopeless. That's the scary part. When I was down in the U.S., anytime. I mean, basically, I had a few conversations with Americans about this stuff because when they asked where I'm from and I said Canada, it would just lead to like political talk. And after a while, like the Americans would almost always just be like, oh, let's talk about something else. I'm tired. And you could see it. A lot of Americans are just tired and worn out.
Yeah.
My message is, if you are someone who feels this is wrong, don't get tired and worn out. Not now. Like this is what you train for. You know, like this is the moment when people who believe in freedom and believe in peace and believe that Americans and Canadians should be friends. This is the moment when you actually speak up. When you write to whatever representative you have. Counter any person you meet who is saying nonsense about Canada. We all got to find a way to speak truth when the lies get bigger and bigger. And this video is my attempt at doing that. So I will probably take more trips to the U.S. I'm not boycotting your country. But I'm also not staying silent.
You should remind your boyfriend and...
Okay. All right. He was right about a lot of things he said. I personally have voiced that I do support Canada for sure. I do support them standing tall. I support. It's crazy because I don't know too much about politics, but I'm learning. Like when I watch these videos, guys, I'm literally learning, learning things that I've never really paid attention to, and I think that's another thing with us. I always kind of specify my generation. Like a lot of us millennials, I think we're also tired because it's like we just have lived through so much transformation in a short amount of time. Uh, I was born in 1993, for example. And this is really for my Canadian viewers and viewers from around the world that may fit, just so you can understand our mindset a little more. I was born in 1993, where it was more so, you wasn't using cell phones. You wasn't. It was the 90s, right? It was Corey and Topanga, Boy Meets World. It was just In Sync was still out. Like we just things, radios, hiking, biking, things transformed very quickly. Like we went from we had Bush, we had Clinton, we had 9/11 happen, and there's just so much transformation. All of a sudden, cell phones got big, and then Hurricane Katrina, and then you got like it was just it's so much like so much school shootings. After Columbine in the 90s. Fast forward, it's like shootings just kept happening, and just so much within our generation that's just happened. So much transformation to the point where it go from iPods to, excuse me, now you can iPod Touch, and then all of a sudden FaceTime, and then MySpace, and then Vine, and then you had Twitter, and then Facebook, and then like it's just insane so much. But through all this, we were just fed so much different information, so much different. Oh, this is exploding over here. This traumatic experience has happened. Sandy Hook, and and then you get to a point where it's like it's hit a different type of level now, like that, where we just kind of like, you know what, we're sick of it. We're just done. Like, we don't even care. But I do hear, him. I do hear him, and I am gonna do more research. I am gonna learn more, um, and just dive more into like I said, into politics. I still mix it up, try not to get too much, but it's like it is important. It is a time where it is very important, and I do think that as us millennials specifically, everything that we have been through, this is a good time for us to, I guess, make it mean something. So I actually got a video coming with my friend from the UK. We should be doing it today on Zoom, where we talking about what's going on with UK, and from his perspective, from the UK and out here. I might even add my Canada friend, and or maybe do a separate one with my Canada friend. But I'm just learning, guys. I'm just learning, and things that I feel like is wrong, I will speak out on for sure. Believe that. But with that being said, original link in the description. Canada. Don't Please don't feel like we all just bullies. We're not. We're not. I'm sure y'all see that there's a lot of Americans that's against making Canada 51 or sending threats. I'm not with none of that. I don't respect that. I don't respect the. I'm not that guy. That's gonna bully. And I was just watching Avatar, The Last Airbender, and something is really relevant that happened in there. There was this like tribe of fighters, like woman fighters, and long story short, the fire tribe came in there and caused mayhem. They had to fight against them, and this whole time, this tribe of women fighters, they were like quiet to themselves, didn't want to be bothered, avoided drama, and the leader said to Avatar, his name's Aang. She said to Aang, "Thank you, thank you for actually for coming over here, and all this drama happening, because it reminded us of who we are. We needed to be reminded of our beliefs. We needed that unity again. We needed to stand tall and fight for something again, because it's been too long." So sometimes when things like this happen, it's to strengthen places again too. And I just feel like we're at that point in the world where, um, through all this, people have to learn what we're even fighting for. What are we even existing for anymore? And this is yeah. Because it's forcing people like me, who've never been into politics, to now start to pay attention more and more and more. Right? I've always, I'm like I said, I consider myself an independent, I guess. So I don't really like to label myself at all. But I don't, not blue, not red, but I try to like see what's going on every now and then, and all right. But this is forcing me to dive in even more and really just kind of see a little deeper and do more research. But from what I see with Canada, as far as being the 51, do I support that? No, no, not at all. I don't support Canada being 51, because um, I feel like, don't get me wrong, I support the whole world being together. I support the whole, but hey, they got their own culture. If they saying they want their own culture and that's how they want to. But my question is to Canadians: are y'all split? Are y'all having a little internal war that isn't being broadcasted as much? Because I am seeing a lot of Canadians, even my Canadian friend wants to be 51. So that's where my question would go before. And this is what I'm saying. I got a lot of questions. This is why I got to upload a video with my boys from Canada, my boy from Europe, my boy from, so I could really talk to them, and I could really get what's going on too, a better perspective on camera for my subscribers, because it's like that's my question. Are y'all having a little internal warfare or war there? Because why am I seeing or hearing Canadians that want to be 51? My boy's a MAGA supporter and he's from Canada, so and he highly dislikes the previous prime minister before the new one. So yeah, those are the questions I would have. So when y'all come across this page, and y'all see this video, just do your best to try to help educate me so I can learn. Because that's really what I want to do. I just want to learn, and like I said, I don't know much about politics, and even with tariffs, it's like, okay, I get the basic concept of but I don't know, the depths of how when other people get to breaking it down. So yeah, I'm a student. All right. With that being said, original link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate. First off, go check out. Let me say his channel, his page again. Let me see. What was it? The New Travel, I think his page was. But original link in the description anyway. So definitely go check him out. Yes, the New Travel. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to continue to grow with me, definitely don't hesitate to hit that like, that subscribe, that notification bell, and I'll be back more soon. Much love. Now let me go see what that guy was talking about at the ad break about oats not being good for you. That was weird. What is good? That's another thing. What is good for us nowadays? That's what I want to protest against. Everything being processed and tampered with.